Hello guys, welcome back to LR Anime. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of BTTH Rebirth of Emperor Yang episode number 295 based on novel. So let's start. The three elders' autobiographical words are naturally remembered by Xiao Feng, but today there are foreigners returning to the family. I should always come and have a look. In addition, hearing Xiao Mingyuan's words, Xiao Feng smiled, glanced at the latter, swept the two people beside him, and immediately stopped on Xiao Yang, with a smile on his face, saying, "This must be Xiao Yang. Before you arrive at the main hall today, your reputation is on fire among our Xiao family." Although Xiao Feng is smiling, Xiao Yang can clearly detect the cold meaning in the former's eyes. At present, he can't help being surprised. He clearly saw this guy for the first time, but he won't be so hostile. His name is Xiao Feng. Xiao Chuhang, who was hit hard by you earlier, is his brother. One side, Xiao Mingyuan stared at Xiao Feng and whispered to Xiao Yang. Hearing the speech, Xiao Yang's eyebrows suddenly picked up. It was suddenly that Xiao Feng looked at him so hard. It turned out to be Xiao Chuhang's brother. I heard that Xiao Chuhang was called the second young master before. From this point of view, this Xiao Feng should be the eldest and youngest son of the Xiao family and now the son of the Xiao family. Slightly undetectable nodded. Xiao Yang thought secretly in his heart that he could become the son of the Xiao family. This cultivation of Xiao Feng can be seen. From the first glance, at least he will not be weaker than Bai Ruoxuan of the Bai family. Little fellow, you should be careful. Brother Xiao Feng is helpless in the family. His brother is his inverse scale. You hurt Xiao Chuhang badly today. This guy will inevitably trouble you in the future, but you can rest assured that I am here today. Xiao Mingyuan threw a reassuring look at Xiao Yang, and immediately looked back at Xiao Feng. He frowned slightly and said in a slightly heavy tone, "Xiao Feng, people have seen it now. Should we let them go? Then want to take Xiao Yang two people to cross the latter. My brother fought with people in Xiao City today, but he was seriously injured and returned. As far as I know, it was Mr. Xiao Yang who did it." However, the words uttered by Xiao Tuye made the already inharmonious atmosphere on the field suddenly stiff. Together with some guards around, they also cast their surprised eyes. They all looked at Xiao Yang in surprise and obviously understood what Xiao Feng meant. When I first joined the Xiao family, I became enemies with my son. Such behavior is not a good thing. Xiao Feng. Xiao Yang aside, Xiao Mingyuan's face was slightly heavy and his voice was frozen. Please rest assured. I already know the whole story. Since Chu Hang is not as skilled as others, I naturally have nothing to say. Just. Before a few people could catch their breath, Xiao Feng continued to speak and said, "My main purpose here is to hope to fight with you." While spitting out the fierce words, Xiao Feng suddenly raised an arm and pointed his fingers to Xiao Mingyuan's side, Xiao Xian on Xiao Yang's side. Xiao Xian. Around him, his eyes followed Xiao Feng's expectations, and the expression on his face gradually turned into a surprise. Even they didn't expect that Xiao Feng would ask Xiao Xian to fight. In the past, the former never took Xiao Xian in his eyes. According to his words, even those who can't break through the source sect are not qualified to be his opponents, but up to now, such wanton words, it was broken by Xiao Feng himself. Having said that, some discerning people present saw the clue. From Xiao Mingyuan's previous attitude towards Xiao Feng, the former obviously did not want Xiao Feng and Xiao Yang to do it. Due to Xiao Mingyuan's pressure, the latter is bound to have concerns. But at the moment, Xiao Feng resolutely turned the spearhead to Xiao Xian beside him. Everyone here understood that with the cultivation gap between them, Xiao Xian could never be Xiao Feng's opponent. In this way, if Xiao Xian could not fight, Xiao Yang would be the one who could replace him to fight with Xiao Feng, but if he was afraid to fight, I'm afraid Xiao Feng will take this opportunity to severely ridicule and provoke again. No matter which of the two is Xiao Feng's revenge on Xiao Yang. But if Xiao Yang takes the initiative to fight, all the pressure Xiao Mingyuan puts on him will no longer pose a threat. Xiao Feng's skill is really a means of thunder. Once everything develops in the direction expected by Xiao Feng, I'm afraid that after today, the name of Xiao Yang will really ring out among the Xiao family, but I'm afraid it will become a laughingstock in all the population. If it's just like this, Xiao Yang won't care. But what he cares about is that Xiao Xian has joined the Xiao family and is now a member of the Xiao family. He can't affect Xiao Xian's reputation because of himself. I'm afraid he has to take over the war. At the thought of this, Xiao Yang's face immediately became gloomy. Xiao Mingyuan beside him also frowned, but he was quite helpless. Xiao Feng did not expect such a means. In this way, he was afraid that there would be another fierce battle between the two today. Frowning tightly, Xiao Mingyuan swept back between the two. Unexpectedly, Xiao Mingyuan felt a little worried in his heart. Although Xiao Yang's cultivation has set foot in Yuanzhong, it is only a 2-star Yuanzhong after all. Coupled with the consumption of the First World War in Xiao City, if he meets Xiao Feng at the moment, the odds between them are unimaginable. Looking at Xiao Yang, who frowned at the moment, Xiao Feng's eyes were still sharp. His dark eyes stopped on Xiao Yang. His eyes looked colder and colder. The source gas in the cyclone in his body was also quietly mobilized at the moment. He couldn't wait to let the people in front of him pay the price for what he had done. Who? With a long breath, Xiao Yang's face was gloomy, his fist under his sleeve robe was slowly clenched, and then his steps were lifted slightly. When he looked up, his eyes also touched Xiao Feng's line of sight. Okay, I'll take it. However, when everyone on the court was waiting for the battle between Xiao Yang and Xiao Feng to start, Xiao Xian, dressed in white, stepped forward one step and looked calmly at Xiao Feng opposite. The clear voice of words echoed in everyone's ears on the court like a bell, even Xiao Yang and Xiao Mingyuan beside him, even Xiao Feng at the moment. I couldn't help but be stunned. Ancestors. Xiao Yang's face changed in an instant. He was just about to start to stop him, but the latter turned his head and smiled faintly at him. With one hand, he stopped the movement on Xiao Yang's hand, immediately patted him on the shoulder and said with a smile, "Don't worry, since I dare to answer, I'm sure." In the eyes of the public, Xiao Xian lightly patted Xiao Yang on the shoulder. The words he uttered made most of the people present shake their heads. At this time, he said that it was too far-fetched to support the scene. After all, the cultivation gap between the two sides is here. A Yuan emperor wants to resist a strong person at the level of Yuan sect from the front. This is almost impossible. What's more, the person Xiao Xian has to face is Xiao Feng, the son of the Xiao family. Xiao Xian, don't be forced. If you lose the enemy and admit defeat, it's not a disgrace. I think he can't do anything too much. On one side, Xiao Mingyuan looked at Xiao Yang with tight eyebrows and hesitated a little. Then he slowly said to Xiao Xian, "Then thank the 3 elders." Xiao Xian nodded and smiled and hugged Xiao Mingyuan. Then he turned his eyes to Xiao Feng, who was gloomy at the moment, and said, "Shizi Xiao Feng, do you plan to stay here or go to the martial arts arena?" When he said this, Xiao Xian turned his head and looked at the main hall behind him, which was not far away from himself and others. He swept around a group of guards and began to fight in front of the main hall of the Xiao family. Once it started, he was afraid it would disturb the senior level of the Xiao family. Besides, there were these guards around. Although their strength was not weak, they could be the highest, it's just that they can reach the Source Emperor. Once they start and spread, it's no small matter. I don't think it's necessary to waste that time. Just make a quick decision here. I believe there will be no real noise. Xiao Feng grinned grimly, and the soles of his feet suddenly stepped forward. The whole body was surrounded by the wind. Between the rotation, it directly turned into an invisible wind wall, and the wind gradually thickened. With the slight shock of his body, the wind wall immediately turned into a strong wind pressure, sweeping across the area. Even if his body trembled, some guards around withdrew back involuntarily. For a moment, the faces of all the guards changed. When they looked at Xiao Feng, they couldn't help but solemnly. They could be shocked back by only one momentum. Xiao Feng's strength really didn't deserve the identity of the son of the world. Since you say you are sure to fight with me, let me see what qualifications you, a Source Emperor, have to say such arrogant word. The momentum was released, and the wind turned around. Xiao Feng stamped the ground with the soles of his feet. His body shape swept up the sky, looked down at Xiao Xian below, and sneered. In this regard, Xiao Xian just smiled. There was a slight sharp color in his dark eyes and his body moved. When he appeared again, he was in the sky. With the 2 fingers of his right hand together and a gentle wave, a cluster of wind curls condensed at his fingertips. It seemed ordinary, but with bursts of sharp wind howling, the source gas of the surrounding heaven and earth also gathered involuntarily. Seeing this scene, the guards at the bottom immediately looked sideways. Even Xiao Mingyuan's eyes flashed a look of surprise, which could condense the wind to such a fierce level. It can be seen that Xiao Xian's understanding of one of the ways of the wind is deeper than even Xiao Feng. It seems that he hasn't made any progress in recent years. With a slight sigh, Xiao Ming looked at Xiao Xian in the sky. He couldn't help but show regret in his old eyes. If Xiao Xian didn't make progress in his cultivation, I'm afraid he would become the most dazzling new star of the Xiao family. However, all this stopped abruptly. Now it seems that even if Xiao Xian's understanding on the road of wind how to move forward, he can't become a real strong man after all. While listening to the old man's low sigh, Xiao Yang frowned again. Although he guessed about Xiao Xian's situation in the Xiao family, he heard Xiao Mingyuan's tone. He was afraid that there was still a gap between him and his imagination. Alas, to be honest, this is also my fault. It was for your sake to let you return to the Xiao family, but I didn't expect such a result. It seems to see the resentment in Xiao Yang's heart. Xiao Mingyuan sighed slowly. A pair of turbid old eyes looked at Xiao Xian in the sky at the moment. A little shame could not help but appear on his old face. At the beginning, when Xiao Xianchu came to the Xiao family, we attached great importance to him, and after that, he showed an amazing cultivation talent. With the family's cultivation resources, in just 2 years, his cultivation achievements jumped from the King of 8 stars to the level of Yuanhuang Peak. The old man said slowly, and bright stars burst out in his eyes. Although this was a story a few years ago, it is still amazing when I think about it now. In just 2 years, the cultivation span is so large, such a terrible cultivation speed, even if you look at the whole continent, it is difficult to be on the right for thousands of years. With a long breath, Xiao Mingyuan concentrated and continued. At that time, because of Xiao Xian, all the members of the Xiao family were shocked. For the sake of safety, the elder and the clan leader repeatedly ordered to completely block the news within the Xiao family and not disclose it to the outside world. Anyone who violates it will be killed without amnesty. As soon as he said this, Xiao Yang's eyebrows suddenly picked up, and his face changed slightly. I didn't expect that the senior level of the Xiao family would be so determined. In order to block the news, even his own people wouldn't let go. During that time, no one of the Xiao family was allowed to go out. Many people died in the affiliated cities of the Xiao family, including Xiao City, which can be described as a river of blood. The Xiao clan has blocked the news, but someone will spread it outside. Xiao Yang frowned. He couldn't help but be surprised. It's ridiculous that this kind of thing would happen by means of the Xiao family. No news has spread, and the reason for killing those people is just suspicion. Xiao Mingyuan shook his head slowly and said helplessly, "Hiss." The expression on his face suddenly stagnated, and Xiao Yang's heart suddenly surged into a deep sense of horror. Is the reason for killing just because of doubt? Even if you are a strong man, you can act like this, but it's too cruel. In this regard, Xiao Mingyuan smiled with relief, but he didn't feel too guilty. He said faintly, "Don't be surprised. If it's just one person, it's really cruel, but you should understand that we have to block all the news at all costs, not just for Xiao Xian, but for the future of the whole Xiao family. With Xiao Xian's cultivation speed at that time, if nothing happens, the fate of the Xiao family may be in his hand. The law of the jungle is the law of the hour. All generations are eternal truths. However, it may be blissful and sad, but what we expected did not happen. When his cultivation reached the peak of Yuanhuang, there was no further progress. At first, we thought it was just a precipitation process, but it was not so. Even the elder personally explored it and failed to see anything strange. At this point, Xiao Mingyuan sighed deeply, looked up again and looked at Xiao Xian in the sky. His eyes were complex. Who could have thought that countless efforts would end up like this in the end? After hearing this, Xiao Yang smiled softly. In such a situation, he had the same experience when he was young. Now think about it, the feeling that he was given expectations by the whole family, but turned into nothing. Now he can have some understanding. After all, just like Xiao Mingyuan said earlier, the world is just the law of the jungle. As for the elder, it's impossible to see anything. The Guyuan formula is a skill. Xiao Xian himself has no problem. Even if he dissects his body, he can't find anything different. Also after that, his prestige in the clan became lower and lower. Even the elders of the clan paid little attention to it. Even those who originally supported him were strangers. Some people couldn't at least make a few sarcasm. If he wasn't calm, I'm afraid he couldn't continue to stay in the clan. In this regard, Xiao Yang just smiled and said something. For them, it has long been regarded as nothing. Of course, it will not have any impact. Now the Guyuan formula is complete, but I don't want to see what a wonderful expression will be on their faces when they see Xiao Xuanqiu's breakthrough in Yuanzhong. While the two were talking, the gradually solidified atmosphere on the field finally exploded at this moment. Hiss! In the sky, Xiao Feng held his palm fiercely, and the wind gathered between his palms. Between the whirring and rotation, it directly turned into an illusory long gun. The clear wind gathered on it and made a burst of wind-breaking sound from time to time. The spear condensed, and the cold surge in Xiao Feng's eyes. The spear in his hand suddenly vibrated, and the sharp sound of breaking the wind suddenly sounded. Immediately, the body of the gun twisted and directly drew an invisible dragon in the void. With an amazing wind pressure and a roar, he rapped his spear and shot at Xiao Xian. Looking at the invisible spear calmly, Xiao Xian lifted his right hand gently, and the source qi in his body ran up without hesitation. When his mind moved, it quickly turned into an invisible sword blade in the void in front of him. The source qi poured in quickly, and then a sword waved and cut out. Buzz! Two invisible forces suddenly collided in the void, and the low explosion suddenly sounded. The wind and waves swept through, and the dragon and blade were all buried in the wind and waves. Then, the sound of breaking the air sounded again. In the huge wind and waves, Xiao Feng's body suddenly shot out and stabbed Xiao Xian with a long gun. Xiao Xian, the old account between you and me is right here. Let's figure it out. Xiao Feng laughed angrily, his body shook, and a residual shadow stayed in place. When he appeared again, he was not far from Xiao Xian. The long gun danced, the wind danced, and the sharp wind turned into countless gun shadows. He shot craftily and ruthlessly at all parts of Xiao Xian's body. Below, Xiao Yang, who heard Xiao Feng's words, immediately frowned, looked at Xiao Mingyuan in surprise, and said suspiciously, "Why, before that, has there been a contradiction between my ancestors and Xiao Feng?" "It's not exactly. If you want to elaborate, it's still because of Xiao Chuhang. It's him again." Secretly, Xiao Yang, who had no good feelings for this guy in his heart, was disgusted with him at the moment. Knowing this, Xiao Mingyuan smiled bitterly and said, "The two brothers Xiao Feng lost their parents when they were young. They have suffered a lot since they grew up. Xiao Feng, as a brother, dotes on his brother, especially since he became the son of the Xiao family. But just because of this, when Xiao Xian was valued by the family's top management, Xiao Feng, the son of a noble family, was ignored. Xiao Chuhang felt aggrieved. That's why he broke in maliciously when Xiao Xuanqiu was making a breakthrough. However, because Xiao Xuanqiu was badly injured by the earthquake because he happened to break through at that time, the contradiction between Xiao Xian and Xiao Feng fell. After that, they didn't fight because of the deliberate obstruction of the family's top management in the end. It was a blessing in disguise, but I didn't expect Xiao Feng to be so worried about it. Looking at the cold Xiao Feng on the void, Xiao Mingyuan shook his head slowly and wanted to be the son of the Xiao family. If only considering his strength, I'm afraid he can't go too far. One side, Xiao Yang heard that Xiao Chuhang had suffered for himself, but he couldn't help laughing. Even if he continued to look up and look at the battle circle in the sky at the moment. In the face of Xiao Feng's fierce attack, Xiao Xian's face remained unchanged. As soon as he turned his wrist, countless sword shadows quickly appeared in the void around him. While his body retreated violently, those sword shadows also stabbed one after another, collided with countless gunblades, and stopped the former's attack one after another. Xiao Yan has lived for thousands of years and experienced countless bloody battles. Compared with Xiao Feng, who has been cultivating at ease among the Xiao family, he has rich combat experience. If the two fight alone, the latter will never be Xiao Yan's opponent. Seeing that Xiao Yan was so unhurried, the chill in Xiao Feng's eyes suddenly became worse. A roll of big sleeves and a wide sleeve robe wrapped the handle of the gun. While the hurricane roared, the whole body supported the long gun and shot forward. Along the way, even the space was torn and opened a huge crack. Hiss! The spear quickly swept out like lightning. However, when it was about to hit Xiao Yan's chest, the latter raised his hands quickly, the fingertip seal changed rapidly, the source gas flowed, the breeze gathered, and in the twinkling of an eye it turned into an invisible long sword. Suddenly, the fierce and unparalleled sword chi surged, and even the surrounding void was buzzing and twisted. Hey! Aware of the fierce sword spirit, Xiao Mingyuan suddenly showed a surprised look on his face. Although Xiao Yan was strong, he could emit such fierce and domineering sword spirit by the power of the wind. I have to say, this is more surprising than the former. Ding! The invisible long gun collided with the sword body and made a clear collision sound. At the same time, the sword chi on it was also fired at this moment. Along both sides of the gun body, it emitted successive sword chi, tearing the void and shooting directly at Xiao Feng's face door. When the sword gas came, Xiao Feng's face immediately changed. He didn't care about the long gun and rolled his sleeve robe. When he loosened the gun body, the invisible strong wind covered the sleeve robe and blocked the shooting sword gas. At the same time, Xiao Yan turned his wrist, and the invisible long sword in front of him collided with the invisible long gun one after another. He immediately shook slightly and heard a click. The invisible spear was suddenly broken into countless whirlwinds and scattered. Shizi Xiao Feng, the weapons were destroyed. I think this battle should also be a result. With a faint smile, Xiao Yan withdrew and fell back to the ground below. When Xiao Feng returned to his senses, he already saw the broken spear. When he looked at Xiao Yan again, his face finally became completely gloomy. If you want to end this battle, knock me down. There was a low roar in his mouth, and Xiao Feng's body shook violently. While the source gas in his body surged outward, twisted invisible tents quickly turned out in the void around him. Then, his hands were raised to his chest, his fingers were linked, and his seals were overlapped. Above his head, stalks of clear wind also gathered together. This is Fengshan anger. Seeing this scene in the void, Xiao Yang's face suddenly changed. At this moment, Xiao Feng's seal decision is the same as that of Xiao Chuhang in Xiao City. There is no doubt that the god of wind is angry. However, it would be better if it was just the previous battle, but at this moment, once the god of wind is angry, it may be difficult to support Xiao Yan's current cultivation. Xiao Feng, this war doesn't make much sense. Why do you keep pestering? You should know that if you hurt the people in vain, you will also be severely punished. Whether it's the guilt towards Xiao Yan in his heart or the existence of Xiao Yang on one side, Xiao Mingyuan's words are more severe at the moment. However, since the matter has come to this point, how can Xiao Feng be willing to stop easily? 3 elders, up to now, I have never said to admit defeat or exhausted. Therefore, before the battle is over, it is not fair to hurt people. Xiao Yan, if you want to end this battle, you and I must fall down. Wind. God. Anger. The mighty pressure filled with majestic momentum filled the air. The faces of the guards around changed sharply, and their bodies retreated quickly. Even some elders who were watching the war here nodded slightly for this sense of oppression. No matter how overbearing their hearts were, Xiao Feng's strength did not say. No one can deny this. Buzz. Below, Xiao Yang stepped forward and half stopped in front of Xiao Yan. A strong sense of oppression that was not inferior to the former also spread. At present, the faces of the people present changed dramatically again. The oppression of Xiao Feng alone was so amazing. If Xiao Yang was added, once the two collided, the result would be unimaginable. Are you going to do it? Staring at Xiao Yang, who was about to take action below, Xiao Feng in the void had a cold light in his eyes, and his breath became stronger and stronger. However, the next moment, when Xiao Yang is ready to make a move, Huh. When Xiao Yang turned his head, Xiao Xian's palm stopped him again. His face was still calm. Before the former spoke, he said slowly, "You've worked hard enough all the way. You'd better have a good rest. Let me finish my own battle." Then, regardless of the look on Xiao Yang's face, Xiao Xian took more than 10 steps forward. Then, under the eyes of many people around him, he slowly raised his right hand. While his fingers were close together, Xiao Mingyuan's face suddenly changed. He looked up. At the moment, above Xiao Xian's head, a huge wind roll was condensed in a twinkling of an eye, then followed by. With a fierce wave of the sword finger, the huge wind roll above Xiao Xian's head turned into a huge virtual image in the unbelievable eyes of everyone on the court, and this virtual image was Fengshen anger. Fengshen anger. It's Fengshen's anger again, and he hasn't pinched the seal yet. How is this possible? On the field, when the virtual image above Xiao Xian's head condensed in the twinkling of an eye, the faces of the guards below suddenly changed, and they couldn't help shouting. In particular, they felt a burst of disbelief when they saw that Xiao Xian turned into a spirit of anger in an instant. Xiao Mingyuan's old face was also surprised at what was happening in front of him, but compared with the younger generation of the Xiao nationality around him, he understood that although Fengshen anger was an Italian-level fighting skill, it was not impossible to condense it in a moment. But apart from the need to support it with a huge source of qi, his understanding of Fengshen anger, it is also necessary to reach the point where he has reached the state of transformation. Obviously, Xiao Xian has reached the point that most people can't reach. At the same time, the sense of regret for Xiao Xian in the bottom of his heart also deepened. It's really unacceptable that Xiao Xian, who is so calm and has reached such an amazing level in all aspects of talent, should stop at the peak of Yuan Huang. Alas! With a deep frown and a sigh, the old man's body could not help trembling. A pair of old eyes looked at the natural and unrestrained figure like the breeze in front of him, and there was a sense of resentment in his heart. It's really fortune makes people. While looking at Xiao Xian, Xiao Yang was also surprised. It seemed that he underestimated his ancestor. At present, he couldn't help laughing at himself. Compared with the latter, his powerful combat power was almost due to the existence of different fire, while Xiao Xian relied on his own ability. In this regard, he thinks he is inferior. On the court, with the condensation of Xiao Xian's Fengshen anger, Xiao Feng, who is now on the void, suddenly looks ugly. He has also cultivated Fengshen anger. Naturally, his understanding of this is far better than ordinary people. Xiao Xian can condense Fengshen anger in a flash. This is the proof of his strength. If his cultivation did not stop at the peak of the Emperor, I'm afraid today's battle, he will have no chance of winning. Who? The breath was trembling and soothing for a while. Xiao Feng felt a burst of happiness in his heart. His eyes closed slowly. The next moment he opened, the dark cold light burst out, and there was a cold determination in the depths of his eyes. Is the wind god angry? Even if so, what can it be? The gap between the Source Emperor and the Source Sect cannot be overstepped after all. You will surely lose this war. As soon as the cry fell, Xiao Feng stepped on the void, folded his hands, glared at Xiao Xian, linked with the huge virtual image behind him, and his body leaned forward slowly. At the same time, a terrible sense of oppression also fell from the sky. On the ground below, Xiao Yang felt the sense of oppression from Xiao Feng's body, and the expression on his face was also a change. He was worthy of being the son of the Xiao family. Compared with Xiao Chuhang, Xiao Feng's Fengshen anger was more than twice as high as the former. Xiao Yang admitted that even if he had to face Xiao Feng's blow, he would have to go all out. On one side, Xiao Mingyuan's turbid old eyes stared at the situation on the field. A trace of source gas quietly circulated on the body surface. Once the situation changed, he would take action immediately. Anyway, this time, he will also protect Xiao Xian's integrity. Wind. God. Anger. Every word rippled between the heaven and earth, on both sides of the street in the distance and on the attic, as if there were many people. Most of them were elders of all sides of the Xiao family. They had guessed that if Xiao Mingyuan didn't do it, they would be able to stop Xiao Feng's attack. There is only Xiao Yang on his side. The terrible wind pressure hit the faces of the people below, which made many people step back. What's more, They sat down on the ground and couldn't support the wind pressure. Even Xiao Yang at this time also showed a dignified look on his face, and the source gas in his body flowed rapidly, as if he was ready to fight. Only at this time, Xiao Xian's face was still calm in the face of the oncoming wind pressure. The oncoming wind dispersed automatically when it was tens of feet away, as if he was waiting for the arrival of the angry god in the sky. If he had a heart, he could find that Xiao Xian's face had become a little pale unconsciously. What is he doing? Why hasn't he done it yet? Before the main hall, I don't know when it has been filled with the figures of a group of elders. In front of the door, there is Xiao Yuheng, the head of the Xiao family. At this time, the eyes of this group are also gathered on Xiao Xian. Of course, most people are still waiting for Xiao Yang's hand. Xiao Feng is the source sect after all. Have you noticed that another force seems to be gathering around him? Xiao Yuheng frowned. Under the pressure of the wind god's anger, no one could see the situation around Xiao Xian clearly, but he was still aware of it. Unfortunately, the elders of the clan nearby didn't expect Xiao Xian to resist Xiao Feng with his own strength. No one responded. Xiao Yuheng had to shake his head. These old guys are old-fashioned. On the ground, Xiao Xian looked blandly at the huge virtual image that was getting closer and closer. In the depths of his eyes, a fierce color came quietly. A strong sense of oppression fell from heaven. Later, Xiao Yang and their feelings became more and more nervous. They even had the impulse to take action. If they hadn't seen Xiao Xian still stable as before, they would have taken action long ago. Ancestors. His eyes stared at his back tightly. The fist under Xiao Yang's sleeve robe could not help but clench more tightly, and his forehead was full of sweat because of the tension of his inner emotion. Xiao Xian, you are defeated. The words full of oppression sounded like the final judgment. Xiao Feng's body suddenly shook. The terrible storm suddenly swept over and approached Xiao Xian. The huge virtual image finally came to Xiao Xian at this moment. Until this moment, Xiao Xian, whose eyes were as calm as before, slowly looked up and his eyes collided with the former's eyes like a hawk and falcon. The sword finger of the right hand rotates gently, and the plain voice of words spits out slowly. Qing Mu sword formula, Dao Tian. A sword. Buzz. Almost at the same time, the virtual image on Xiao Xian's head suddenly raised his hands and grasped it in the air. In the originally empty void, it suddenly turned into a huge sword. At the same time, a terrible sword storm swept across the world at the moment, cutting countless fierce sword marks on the ground below. At this moment, everyone present, including the elders standing in front of the main hall and Xiao Yuheng's face, suddenly changed. Everyone stared at the scene and was filled with horror. Until a moment later, they couldn't help shouting. This is the Avenue of Sword. This video will end here.